welcome to this week's episode of The Language of Leadership. I'm your host, Chuck Marting. Today, we're going to embark on a profound exploration into leadership, an episode that's been long overdue and something that I've been contemplating for quite a while and bringing to you. But today, we're going to talk about our leadership in our team in addressing tattoos and piercings. And this is where personal stories become a bridge to understanding that connection. So in the next half hour or so, I want to address the unraveling and impact of recognizing and respecting the stories behind these forms of self-expression and how this recognition can encourage team confidence, commitment, and also mission alignment. So I just recently came back from speaking in Orlando, Florida, at a conference there for leaders. And there were a lot of leaders that attended this conference. And one of the things that I heard from these leaders on a one-on-one basis when they came to me, they asked me, they said, I came in contact with all these individuals within my workplace that are now doing piercings and tattoos. And they said, how do I tactfully and respectfully address tattoos and piercings of team members while in the workplace? It's a very touchy subject, especially in a day and age where people are very likely to be offended when you are to address this. But I think in a lot of ways, the reason why they become offended is in the way that we approach these individuals and how we address what it is that we're wanting to talk to them about. I began to reflect on a lot of different experiences that I've had with tattoos and piercings. Now, look, I can't tell you that I've been discriminated against or somebody has come to me concerned about that appearance with me because I don't have any tattoos. That's a personal choice of mine. I haven't found something where I felt an overwhelming desire to be able to put on my body. Piercing is something that I've really gotten into or something that really appeals to me. So that, again, is a personal choice. But what I have learned and from my experience is that when individuals do this self-expression, there's a lot of stories, there's a lot of thought, and there's reasons why people do the things that they do. When I was at the police department, one of the things when I was a police officer is that tattoos not only told a story, but they were also used as identifiers. It was a way that we were able to identify individuals that may have had a warrant for their arrest, they were wanted, or even if they were missing. Tattoos were something that was shared to be able to address that and to find that individual. Now, I've seen a lot of really nice tattoos. And every one of those individuals had a story or a reason behind it. And it was fascinating listening to individuals and them explain that story to you so that you would understand. And I think a lot of times we're at fault for that. We don't come to the individual because we're scared of offending them. But this is a type of self reflection, something that somebody feels important enough to put on their body to be able to share with the world. And what I have found is when you come and you talk to people respectfully and ask them to tell you the story about what it is that they have on their body with the tattoos or things like that, that a lot of times these people are happy for you to come and ask them. They want to tell you. They want to explain to you the reasoning behind it and why it's important to them. So I think it's in the way that we address this with these individuals and understand that there's meaning behind it. It's not something they just did because they want to stand out and have people stare at them, but this is something that they felt was such a powerful thing that they need to put it on their bodies to be able to share that with other people. And I think that's the way they look at it. And what I've been told is that they're sharing it with the world. They're sharing this expression with people, the respect that they have, things that they've done. That's why they do this. So I think a lot of times as leaders, before we react, we have to step back and look at it. But when you're looking at diversity, a lot of this it's going into diversity in the vibrant tapestry of leadership. Diversity extends far beyond the surface. And I want to share a story with you about a lady named Emily Turner. You see, she's a visionary leader who not only embraced the diversity within her team, but she actively sought to understand the intricate narratives that are etched into the skin of some team members. You see, Emily took the time to sit down with each of her team members and was able to unravel the stories behind their tattoos and their piercings. And you know what emerged was a workplace and a culture that celebrated the richness of the individual's experiences. Now, Emily's leadership demonstrated that true diversity encompasses not only just backgrounds and skills, but it's also unique stories written on each team member's canvas, if you will, their skin. So stereotypes can be crumbled by us asking and talking and communicating with our team members. When you come to these people and you have a face to face with them, it's a genuine understanding at that point. It's sincerity. Michael Chang, he's a CEO with a passion for breaking down barriers. And in his effort to challenge the preconceived notions of tattooing and piercings in the workplace, he embarked on a journey to learn about the personal significance of his team's tattoos. He didn't just stop at a casual inquiry. He dived into the stories behind each individual's artwork on their body. And what emerged was a workplace that was transformed. His team, they felt seen, they felt valued, and they felt understood. And so it began to foster a sense of trust that transcended all appearances that the team may have had. You see, Michael's leadership, it exemplified the transformational power of gaining insights into personal narratives. And with that, it was with tattoos and with piercings. And it created a workplace that built its trust and understanding. And it caused him to have a very tight and a very good team, that the cohesiveness of that team was awesome. They all worked together. They knew more about their team members, and the respect came. And so it was all in the way that Michael handled that. And I think that that's admirable. It's something that's an example to all of us, because I can guarantee you that every one of us as leaders at some point or another are going to be having to address this issue because of what somebody says, that it may be a perception that what this individual has on their body is offensive or it is vulgar. So that is why we as leaders are going to be asked to have that difficult conversation. And I think it doesn't have to be. I think it is something that can be very profound, and especially for you as a leader, to understand your team members a little bit more on not only an intimate level, but gaining their trust and an understanding of caring for that team member, that you would want to know their story and what it is that they have and why this is important to them. It's also going to communicate the sensitivity of these conversations. A lot of times it can be very personal, as far as not being a pleasant experience, but they're wanting to remember what it was and got them to where they are at that point in time. So don't be surprised with that. An effective leader in leadership in the realm of tattoos and piercings, it's going to require navigating those sensitive issues. It's going to have conversations with individuals where you're going to need to show empathy. Jessica Rodriguez is another example. She's a seasoned leader, and she faced a situation where a team member experienced discrimination due to her piercings and tattoos. But instead of sweeping the issue under the rug, she created a safe place for open dialogue with this employee. She initiated a candid conversation that addressed the concerns of the individuals, ensuring that every team member was heard, though, and respected. So Jessica's approach showcased the power of communication in creating a workplace where everyone, regardless of their choice of self-expression, felt valued. Um, the result was not just conflict resolution in that situation, but an environment of increased team commitment that was built on a foundation of open communication and empathy, wanting to understand and to learn. So think about the last time that you may have had a situation where you felt it might be controversial or it was a difficult conversation that was going to have, because we start thinking about all the things that could go wrong with this instead of understanding how to approach the situation in a way that's going to give in some entitlement to that individual, to allow them to come out and to talk to you and give you more information that's going to help you as a leader. I think that's one of the things that we really need to understand is the effectiveness of these communications that we have with our team.
Hey, are you a business leader or a supervisor striving to reach your full potential and take your organization to the next level? As a professional leadership coach, I can help you achieve your goals. My tailored coaching approach is designed to address your specific needs and help you succeed in today's fast-paced business world, whether you need to improve team communication, streamline processes, or develop a strategic vision for your organization. I'm here to help. With my coaching, you can expect to develop a deeper understanding of your leadership style and how to leverage it for maximum impact, gain clarity on your goals and priorities, and create a roadmap to achieve them. You're going to build the confidence and courage to take bold action and make difficult decisions. Learn proven strategies for managing stress, staying focused, and maintaining peak performance, and receiving support, encouragement, and accountability to keep you on track and moving forward. Contact me today at chuck@learningthelanguageofleadership.com. That's chuck@learningthelanguageofleadership.com for a free 90-minute call to learn how coaching can help you achieve your business, leadership, and personal goals. Let's work together to unlock your full potential and take your organization to new heights.
I had a leader that came to me and he said, Chuck, it's all about love. And that made me stop and think, how profound is that? That he would even think about loving those on his team. Is that a foreign concept? I think in today's age, it's something that we take as it could be sexual harassment or something like that, but that's not what he meant. He was showing empathy, concern, and genuine caring for that individual that was interpreted as him loving them to show them that he cared. Understand that a lot of times with a lot of individuals, you may be the only person that's ever come to them, even cared to ask what it is that they have on their body and what it means to them. It's going to be very profound for a lot of us to experience that. And I've had individuals that I've talked to that were afterwards, in addressing it in the way that I am presenting it to you, they said that they wish they would have done it earlier. Wow. Because of the impact that it had, because of the cohesiveness that it caused, because of it bringing their team together, making them stronger. And that's what we want to do. So understand that motivation and inspiration through understanding is profound. That motivating and inspiring a team requires a genuine connection that transcends appearances. I think of another individual named Alex Martinez, and he was a leader that also addressed tattoos and piercings, and he understood this well. He recognized that celebrating the stories within his team and viewing each tattoo as a chapter in a larger narrative of their collective journey was profound. By doing this, he inspired loyalty and a commitment beyond the surface level. And his team members felt not only just seen, but they truly understand and felt the compassion and the understanding that Alex had for him. And Alex's leadership, his style demonstrated that the power of motivation lies in acknowledging and appreciating the unique strengths and stories of each team member and what they bring to the table. The result of that was a team that was more committed, not just in the task that they did, but to a shared mission that they all had. And it fueled a deep understanding of one another on that team. How powerful is that? If you could have that cohesiveness among your team, think about that. What would that do for your team right now if you were able to introduce that, experience that, and bring that to everyone? It can be a very profound experience for everyone, especially you as a leader. Now, navigating professional respect, that is something that is a key word with a lot of people today. It's a buzz term, respect. And I understand there's a lot of different definitions or perspectives of what respect is. Now, professionalism and respect form the bedrock of a successful leader. Now, another leader that I could think of is a leader named David Thompson. And he's a leader with a keen eye for recognizing individuality and acknowledging the stories behind these tattoos and these piercings within his team. Instead of posing a strict dress code, he embraced an inclusive approach that valued the unique expression of each of his team members. And this recognition fostered an environment where team members not only felt not only that they were being respected, but also empowered to be their authentic selves. They didn't have to try and pretend to be something that they really felt they weren't in the workplace. And the outcome was that his team was more teachable, they were more committed, and they aligned with the company's mission more. David's leadership in this, it illustrated that professionalism, when grounded with respect for each of the individual stories, can be a very powerful force that contributes to both personal and collective success. Now, as we conclude this episode of the language of leadership, looking into tattoos and piercings, I want to make sure that we let these stories serve as guidelines and a guiding light, let's say, for each of us as leaders that have to navigate that diverse landscape of our teams. We need to recognize and respect the stories behind these forms of self-expression. It's not just an acknowledgement of diversity. It's a key to unlocking team confidence, team commitment, and a shared sense of purpose among our teams. So remember that living in the past and having a situation that is encompassed and built upon things that could be or perceptions that we have or interpreting those perceptions without addressing it with a team member can have a profound impact on us as leaders and how we lead. What I am asking is that each one of us take the time to care and to love each team member on our team, to have the respect to go to them and talk to them in a way that is respectful about what they felt strong enough of an impulse to place on their bodies. Do we truly want to understand? Do we want to know? Do we want to have that growth opportunity? Because I can tell you, if you're not addressing it, you're missing a very key element that can cause some pretty profound experiences as a leader that not only shape you, but will shape your team as well. It'll build a stronger team. I guarantee it. And I know it. So, with that, what I'm asking you to do is to evaluate not only your company's policies and procedures with that, but also I challenge you on a one on one basis to talk to your team. If they have piercings, if they have tattoos, ask them. Ask them to talk to you about that. Tell me about this tattoo. What does it mean to you? Is there a story behind it? When I was in law enforcement, I can tell you that every individual that had a tattoo had a story. And we used it as a way of identifying individuals as well. If you think about it, when you have a missing person or you have somebody that is hurt, one of the things they do is they use tattoos and piercings as identifiers, especially tattoos, because a lot of times they don't change. When somebody puts that on their body, it's very seldom that you'll see somebody go to the lengths of having them removed. And if they do have them removed, there's a significant reason as to why they were removed. I can think of one as a kid that I had when I was in law enforcement, when I was assigned to the schools, that he got involved in gangs and was getting out of the gang. And he felt that the tattoos that he had on his forearms and on his neck were going to prevent him from being looked at as a valid candidate for a job or to even be able to go to college. And he would be discriminated because of that, or people would be afraid in giving him a chance because of those tattoos. But there was also a reality for that for him too, that he could be in the wrong place at the wrong time with those tattoos, and people are going to judge him based on that, not knowing that he changed his life. So he, in his situation, are one of those exceptions where they were removed. Okay. And they do have the ability to do that. But understand that for most people, this is something that is permanent. It's an identifier that they're going to have for the rest of their life. And a lot of people spend a lot of time and thought in what it is that they want, what they're going to put on their body. So I hope this episode of The Languages Leadership has given you a little bit different perspective, addressing a subject that sometimes we don't really know how to address as a leader. I hope it gave you some insight. I hope that it helps you in addressing your team. And especially, I hope that it allows you to build a team that is going to grow closer and become stronger as a result. So until next time, when I bring you another episode of The Languages Leadership, understand your leadership, our values, the way that we handle ourselves, and the way that we talk to our team has an impact and can make a difference. So until next week, take care.